Hvordan hjælper vi unge med at turde drømme, fejle og vokse som iværksættere? I denne podcast stiller vi skarpt på rollemodeller, trygge fællesskaber og ægte nærvær.
Hej og velkommen til en, kan man sige, lidt speciel udgave af podcast, fordi i dag kommer den til at foregå på engelsk, fordi jeg har gæster i studiet fra ILC, and maybe you guys want to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Kim. My name is Gomathi Sivasankarn. I have been a part of this project called ELC, Innovative Learning Center. This is our baby, in a way. It's a part of the Glaze Studio Art Creative Initiative where we thought of bringing art and technology together. And we're going to launch this project. And I have together with me my student assistant and also product development assistant, I should say.
Yes. Hello, I'm Chloe. As she said, I am the helper. I have helped her with the main plans for the children during this launch, and we'll look into that in a bit.
Okay, perfect. So, I'm curious, what's the story behind when you kind of founding the Innovative Learning Center?
So all along, when I moved to Denmark, it was because of my MBA with Copenhagen Business School. I wanted to do something with art, creative work, but I honestly did not know where to begin with. So when I launched my startup called the Guiding Light Art Company, the idea was to first get to know where to start with the kids, especially. And I really thought there were key burning issues related to stress, anxiety, and such. It's all stemming from a basic problem that there is a difference between the way we are taught in today's world, in the education system itself. It's the imbalance, I call it, between the left and the right brain. The moment, we have an education system where we saw, okay, this is analytical work, you focus on analytical, and there is extracurricular activities, and then you go to another place. We are actually calling our own left and right brains to separate from each other. This imbalance is going at, deepening as a bigger problem into the system, and that's where I wanted to work, and I thought I could bring in something. Working with the children over the last 5 years through the art classes, we got to understand the deeply rooted problems. And that is exactly the story behind, or the reason behind us coming up with this new project idea, Innovative Learning Center.
It's no news to you. I was so taken by your idea when you first explained it to me, because it makes so much sense to me, actually, what you're saying. So I think it's a beautiful idea and concept that fits right into today's world. But how would you describe your business model? Because we are talking business.
Yes.
And in order to survive with this amazing idea, you have also to consider the business model. So short, can you describe your business model?
This will be, in short, a unique learning platform where creativity, innovation, and technology share together. And there is a sharp balance between the left and right brain usage.
Beautiful. That was very good. Thank you. Don't forget that. So, is there a gap in the market that you are aiming to fill, or is it basically a totally new market that you invent, so to say?
I would say yes and no. This is category creation in a way, but the gap that we realized was, to start with, in Denmark, 69% of the children are facing digital-related issues, misunderstandings, and also social media, bullying and such. This is becoming common. This is one thing that is alarming that I noticed also with the kids that I'm working with. On the other side, the education system doesn't have the resources enough to focus on such an education where there could be a balance between the newly evolving technology world, ever so evolving technology world, and the past. There is an imbalance we noticed there also. Plus, to top it all, even the parents do not have the time or the skills or ability to, reduce the screen time and or make it useful. So this is a huge gap that we noticed. Having said that, we will also say that there are other systems that is there to try to teach, but it's always like a defense mechanism or a top-up to what is existing. That is not helpful. We need to create something new for the newer generation, where it's starting with the core to have the balance between the left and the right brain, using the creative energies and the analytical thinking all the time, right from get-go. And that's where we think we have, cracked something new.
So in the Danish education system at the moment, there is very much talk about banning the digital units from
Yes.
totally.
Yeah.
So am I hearing you right when I say you're trying to bridge?
Yes, that's exactly what I am. Of course, I want to support the thought process behind why the Danish government wants to ban. They are really wanting to protect the kids. And I think it's not just Danish government. Many other governments are also seriously considering it or have already considered it, like in New Zealand, for example. But the problem is the more we remove them from the technology, they also are, lacking the learning of what's happening in the new. We need to learn them or train them to be a part of the new world, but in a safe way. It is exactly the driver's license thought process. You set up a guideline on when to use a car, how to use a car, give a training, give an examination, train them enough, and when you're sure that the kid is ready to drive the car, you give them license. That's exactly where we want to step in and say, hey, instead of banning everything, can we create a license for it? And can we create work ethics around it for the children?
And of course, I know your presentation. So I'm kind of considering just putting up the one with the driver's license. I love this picture so much. It's a very good picture. So it kind of came to me, I have to show this.
Yes. This is exactly what we want to say, because when we created cars or the mobile, vehicles, we also created a system called licensing, providing a legality aspect of how to use, when to use, who to use. And that is missing with our mobile phone, unfortunately. We don't have that system, so we just hand it over to a kid and we expect everything to go right. Unfortunately, when it goes wrong, then we want to pull it away. And now we are making enemies out of them because they hate it when you're saying, I'm going to pull out the mobile from your hand. Also.
Perfect. This is the thing. I can see the curtain up there. It's not totally, I'm not sure it's on camera, but
No.
I'll cut this out and edit this out.
I think I yawned one time, please, because that's...
So we're so boring.
No. I just had 3 hours of sleep. Please don't judge me.
I never judge. I wonder.
I would wonder.
Wonder about.
So, perfectly. Thank you, Gomathi. So, how does your workshops combine social impact with creative learning?
So, the way we are training right now, even in our classes, is that we just give artwork to do. And they get to choose whatever they want to do. But now we want to introduce the thought process of what is the subject matter that is being discussed, why we are painting or even doing a graphic design, let's say. And that's where we want to bring in all the key issues that children are facing today. For example, it could be, mobbing or what we call bullying, or, identity issues, body shaming issues, racism issues. But we want to bring it in a way that they are understanding the importance of respecting each other, being kind to each other, and not throwing in all the troubles on their table. So it's introducing, it is like a combination of art, creativity, learning with empathy. That's what we want to bring.
Wonderful.
Is there anything you would like to add?
That's everything that I could. Better than what I could say.
Just feel like you want to answer something, we can.
So, but like I said before, deep down, it's a business.
It is.
And the reason the business part is important, because if it doesn't succeed as a business, the program will not succeed.
Yeah.
So how do you define your success in your business?
The success criteria starts with, first of all, us incorporating these ideas as a part of, school curriculum. So we are going to go around to the schools and start setting the up. So the first logic is to be hybrid. So we really want a place, to be honest, but at the same time, we're also flexible to go to schools or different places and try to test and get that. First level of success in our phase 1 will be the adaptation and the change in the children per se. And we want to document all the success stories, what's working, what is not working, how can we, change things around for the kids better, improvise, take feedback and such, and, sharpen all these workshops as much as possible in the first couple of years. And then when they have made that, we want to have a set of standard operating procedures so we are able to span it out, not just in Sunnabo or Al's area. It should be spanned out the entire Denmark. That is our, a pipeline that we are thinking of.
Amazing. And like I say over and over again, your program is amazing. So it's important. Talking about important. So why is it important for you to bring topics like racism, body image, and kindness into the classroom?
Well, I think it's a no-brainer now that we are, in the brink of war. We are actually finding many reasons to fight with each other. Isn't it? By every day when you open the newspaper, it shows that, we only have found a new reason to fight with each other. And, unfortunately, we're feeding the same thing to the children. Is that good? And that's where I see the importance that we need to start building the positive words of our actions that will negate all this negativity from their mindset. It starts at the classroom level. When they figure out how to fight with each other, that's where, when they grow up as adults, yes, you should not be surprised that there is war. Yeah?
Unfortunately.
So, unfortunately, we don't want that. We don't want to give them this word filled with war as a gift to our next generation. And if we are serious about that, have learned from our mistakes, then we need to take the classroom seriously. Think of it as a mini world. And how will you change the world and make it beautiful so that when they grow up as adults, they are more responsible than us.
Beautiful. Thank you. It's amazing. So, innovation and approach, the way you go about it, what makes your approach to education truly innovative?
There are few aspects to this. First is, like I said, the approach to left and right brain. It should be on the same table. You should not have one class for left brain and one for a right brain. So that is the first point. The second thing is that we are bridging the gap between creative world and technology world. And the third will definitely be that the whole system is going to be built around kids, for the kids, by the kids, meaning the younger generation building the teachers.
Exactly.
That's where Chloe and people like her will come in. So we will generate younger student assistants who will know the current technology to be a part of this teaching mechanism. That's where they feel that we have cracked something new. Yes.
It's amazing how you build bridges in so many places. So how do you incorporate digital tools like Canva and iPads in your workshops?
Yes. The whole idea was to, first of all, we have tried things on a physical basis to do things. And using this
And shows?
yes. Yeah, Chloe can also chip in and show. So for example, we created something called a kindness wall, where Chloe and I came up with, calligraphy, and we have made some kind related action words, both in Danish and you wouldn't believe this is also coming from kids. This was Sovina who made it.
Beautiful.
And they also chipped in. So this is something that we want to create. And this idea, when we thought of, okay, how do we build it also digitally? We can create the system of this kind of a wall inside the classroom, both digitally and physically. So that's where Canva comes into picture, and it's very easy for the kids to learn, copy and paste things, and they can even write their own handwriting, or they can choose letters. I think Chloe knows more about it.
Choose letters, they can choose stickers or little images, icons or images they want to add to the thing to make it more their type of what they want to do with it. Their own creation, not what we do, but what they want to have.
Exactly. So that's how we want to incorporate, so that, it's also running within their groups, whether they have their own chat groups or their own system. They are sharing this. They are sharing positive words of kindness, words of, good action behavior, and appreciating each other every day. So it becomes incrementally a part of their habit, like a part of their skin itself, to appreciate, find all the goodness in people, and look forward to that and share. So that behavioral change we want to build. Exactly.
Wow. Keep on amazing me. Thank you. Can you share how art and storytelling help children process complex emotions and social topics?
Yeah. This is exactly where I would definitely thank all the kids and their families that have been with me in the last 5 years, because the direct discussions, I have understood that pains them also have such discussions. So the main learning from the past is that we should never bring these topics straight to the face, because it's so personal. So instead of taking a personal question, you may question, if we introduce a story and a character that has nothing to do with you and me, so we're only discussing the good and bad habits or behavior of that character. And that is like, to be coupled with art, it turns into a therapy by itself. This is where I see it. And you don't get this.
Okay, well, can I also my answer that one? Okay, my answer was going to be generally kids, younger children, comprehend storytelling and images or drawings, either of their own or from books that they are interested in. They comprehend that a lot easier than having a one-on-one conversation, like she said. But for them, they tend to distract the entire conversation if it gets too personal. They try to step away from it instead of going directly to it. So this would be, in a way, a good and easy way of them being able to open up, compared to just distracting the person who's trying to help from helping them precisely in the exact spots.
Maybe. I keep on saying amazing. It's because I mean it. I have no better words. Sorry, it's so redundant so far. But okay, the challenges and impact is a chapter I want to address now. What has been the biggest challenge in building the business?
Resources, obviously. We want to, these issues are burning issues we are handling. For us to, span it out for a bigger scale, we need the space, we need the resources. We want more students like Chloe to join us to do this, and definitely funding. So that is slowing us down, we could feel. still we are able to manage certain things at a smaller level. But if we have to really spread this out at a bigger level, we would need the resources. And we think it will be even appropriate that we get support from the government, because government also is finding all the ways, commune is finding all the ways to support children handle this stress related to, social media and such. So it looks like we both are on the same track. If we can get together with them, then it will be much faster that we can span this idea out at a bigger level. That's my take on it. Anything else you feel like?
I mean, it also, another aspect would be finding children who don't have a short attention span and actually have a lot more patience when it comes to actually creating the art pieces, and not being like, oh, I want to do this, but then they try it for like 5 minutes and then they decide, okay, never mind, I don't want to do it anymore, it's taking too long. Then that's also one of the challenges.
Yeah. At a practical level, yes, definitely there's a challenge.
Well, we have the swipe in our lives, and
Yes.
you see it all over in society, that it basically affects so many parts of life.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, do you have a powerful story that you want to share of a moment that confirmed you that you're on the right path? Do we have like something? We've got hold of something.
Yeah. I think, when I was also a part of this Cerebral Extorts workshop together with Nordborg Resorts and Destination Sunayland, and that's where the idea started, framing that how can we scale this? How can we make this available and such? So at an idea level, when I was discussing to people, even without a presentation, people were responding to the driver's license thought process. That itself was the initial motivation. One recent example we noticed was these pictures itself, that when we put it up for our Saturday class, the children came in. We didn't have to explain what they are doing to them. They looked at it and they said, "Can we have this in our school?" Excellent.
Beautiful.
So without having to explain, if the kids are getting something, then maybe we are on the right track. Yeah. That's one thing. Anything else that you might have?
I just have a story that's how I got to this point.
What's here?
Okay, well, for me, to figure out that I was on the right path, as you know, I'm a young person, I'm a student as well. My older sister, when she was at school, she used to draw and doodle. And that was what kind of, not motivated, but inspired me to also try doing more art pieces, especially if I was going through something. And then I got recommended to work with her. So after getting to work with her and getting to work with the kids and getting to know how their lives are, having them choose different paintings, having to know about them by themselves, I realized then that this is something I am pretty interested in, and that this is my path, my right path for my future.
Wow. Do we have some way? We are in a society that want to measure everything. So do we have some way where you can measure the impact on your programs, the thought out when you go live? How can you measure the success of your program, basically?
Yeah. The first setup that we have done is that we will not say this is our workshop, this is how it's going to be always. No, we are going to constantly take feedback coming from the teachers that we are talking to, the students themselves, parents. I iterate. I just change the methods inside each workshop and figure out if it's working or not. That's one thing that we are going to do always. And we want to go back to the classes or the schools that we have gone to at least once in a month to ask for feedback or, to conduct more sessions on the same streams to see if there is a progress or a decline in the negativity inside the class, any, the bullying instances that they have been facing or any other, challenges that they are facing. Has it come down? Has the complaint levels of the parents come down or such? What is happening at a psychological level? So that will be the initial important measure for us, key indicator for us that there is something going on in the right track. And sorry, to add one more thing is that the second measure will be the number of productive hours that they are using on, the children are using on a gadget. So is it productive or are they just swiping through? And that we want to, start tracking again, taking from the feedback of the parents and the teachers. If they are sitting for 4 hours or 3 hours, how has it changed? Or has it, reduced, or has it been effective? That's also another measure that we want to look at.
So, what is your vision for the future of Innovative Learning Center?
Okay, there's a lot of things. For the the beginning, definitely I would want to see a practical setup of this model and to create the standard operating procedures so that we can scale it as soon as possible across Denmark. And if I want to be a little more greedy, then I will say across the world.
Why is that being greedy?
We want it now for all the kids.
Well, that's not, in my book, it's not being greedy. No, it sounds like
Somebody trying to make it change.
Somebody trying to make a change.
No.
And you found it seems to me, I know you now for like 2 years. You finally found your mission in life.
Yes.
That's what it seems like to me.
Yes.
And it's so beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
So if you had unlimited resources,
Yeah.
what would be your dream project or expansion? Like you said before, the whole world?
Yes. Unlimited resources, definitely, more than monetary resources, reach to government organizations within the educational system so that we can start working closely with them. So, this can be deployed and tested across the globe because sometimes some ideas work in certain part of the country that doesn't, fit well to others. So we need to understand exceptions also, cross-learning, knowledge sharing at all levels. So access to government, especially educational systems across the globe as soon as possible so that we are able to implement, test, iterate as much as possible and understand exceptions, share that learning across the globe. That's the thing I want.
So, both of you, any last words, sentences you want to say to the listeners, viewers?
To the listeners and viewers, I think you should really sign up for it. It's very great, and genuinely working with it has been a great experience. So I think your children will benefit quite a lot. And yes.
Yeah.
From my side, like I said, Chloe and I have created the basic level minimum viable product, 3 kinds of workshops. And we are ready to travel to you, to your schools. Of course, we need to make sure that Chloe's school timing doesn't get affected. Yes. So that she can also come with me. And we want to implement in your classrooms. So please write to us so that we both are coming to you. We are now focusing on AL so that we can, physically reach out to you and start testing it with you, take your feedback as well. So please do reach out to us. 6.
And if it's okay.
Yes.
I knew when I got dressed this morning
that
I had to dress up because I know you were coming in your beautiful outfit.
Yes.
But you told me the other day why it's so important for you.
Yeah.
And I think if it's okay for you to share it with the viewers, listeners, why is and if you're only listening, go in and see the video, please. What does it give to you to have to wear your traditional?
Yes. So here we are, We are sitting in a studio that is in Denmark and with a Dane. Here I am an Indian and she's a South African. Yes. So look at the diversity that we have, and we're all dressed up according to our own wishes and where we feel comfortable. This is something I have also learned the hard way. Because when we travel across the world, we want to blend in and adapt so much so that we lose our sense, our roots. All these learnings actually is coming from my own value system, Gurukul learning system. I'm not trying to do something, extremely new. So if I am trying to use my own system to build something new for today's world, I should actually own it. And I feel comfortable in my own skin, in my own clothing, the way I am. I don't expect anybody to change. I just want that, we all can be the way we are freely and can talk to each other. That's the motive behind it. Yes.
You're a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
Thank you both for coming here. It's been, like always, I've talked more with you than with you, Chloe. But it's okay. You've been nosy this morning. So anyway, thanks for coming. Thank you for sharing your beautiful vision with us. Til jer derude, spread the word. Del den her historie. Jeg synes, det er en af de mange historier, vi har her på Sønderborg Vækstråd, som viser spændende aspekter i iværksætterlivet her i Sønderborg-området. Se med, lyt med. Der kommer mere på kanalen. Tak.
Find alle StartupTalk podcasts lige der, hvor du plejer at finde dem.